Okay.
Hi, this is Michael Chevy Castronova, business editor at the Gazette and editor of Iowa Ideas Magazine. Thank you for joining us for another segment of this year's 2020 Gazette Business Awards, which we're doing as virtual interviews. And today we're going to talk to the winner of our Trailblazer Award, the recipient of Trailblazer. This is for a mentor, someone who's led the way, someone who's done a variety of things. Today, by the large agreement of our judges this year, is Eric Engelman. Eric Engelman, who has done, let's see, what have I got here? Geonetric, the software developer and marketing agency, the Iowa Startup Accelerator, he's founder of that, executive director, New Boco. There was the Vault co-working spaces, collaboration space, Delta V, EntreFest, Corridor Angels, ISA Ventures, Olympic Southside Venture Space. We, all of last year, 2019, did our morning Gazette business breakfast events at the New Boco Cafe space, which he and his group kindly let us use. I don't know when you sleep, Eric, but congratulations this year.
Thank you. It's an honor. I appreciate it.
So you were already a busy guy with all those things I just named. Tell me how you came about the idea for it and finding the collaborators when you started producing, you and others started producing face shields. And when was it? It was very early on, as I recall.
Yeah, it was March of this year. And basically, I'd been in the process of building this new venture fund called ISA Ventures, which pretty much amounts to, talking to high net worth folks to ask them if they're interested in investing in a high risk startup venture fund. When the pandemic hit, it was right after sort of the big stock market drop, and kind of put the hold on that for a little while. And about a week later, had some friends that were talking about shortages of PPE and how there were people around the world starting to make face shields with 3D printers. And it was like, we've got a couple of 3D printers. I think we could help out. So we pulled a small group together while we let the venture fund sit for a month or two because nobody was excited about it at that moment. Spent that time. Honestly, it was a good way to keep my brain moving because what I wanted to do, I couldn't do. So this was a great side gig to pick up real quickly.
How many partners did you have in that? And is that still in operation? What actually is going on with
that? It was about 90 days total. It was kind of intended to relieve the bubble where there was a period of time when face shields and other equipment was not available at all. Until sort of the supply chain could catch up. So it was intended to be temporary. They had big stickers on them that said, as soon as you get something better, please use it, but this will work in a pinch kind of thing. And we ended up making 25,000 of them. There were, I would guess, more than 100 people who contributed in different ways, either delivering packages all over the state of Iowa. We had one guy fly a shipment of them out to the western half of the state. And then there was a handful of core volunteers who came in to kind of have our little bubble of people who worked on that stuff, packaged them up, ran the printers. It was incredible.
So the first time you and I met, I'm jumping around here. First time you and I met was to have a discussion, as I recall, about the geometrics. Flat management's not the title of it, but that's how that works. That's how it's generally for a flat management model. Could you talk to us about that just a little bit? How does that work? How does that work in the real world? How does it affect decision making? How does it affect promotion? What is it? How does it work? So I'm sure there are a lot of people who are not familiar with it.
Yeah, well, and I should give you a little bit of a caveat here. So I haven't worked there for 6 years or so, 5-6 years. Linda Barnes has been the CEO and has taken that far further than I had at the time. But the intent was to really use the capabilities of individuals and teams such that you would need less of the traditional hierarchy. Really, it was about building a team of cross-disciplinary people who could deliver the whole end product to a customer. And we had, I think, 11 teams at the time. The thinking is that most organizations seem to stifle creativity. It builds, often the hierarchy builds drama. It builds cultural problems inherent in hierarchy, or at least that was how I felt about it. I still do, to be honest. But we were experimenting with different ways of organizing people to get things done, that people would feel engaged. They could see the end value of their work, as opposed to, a department that hands its work over the wall to some other department, and they never see the customer interact with it. That was the intent. And, we've taken those experiments. I know Linda's taken them much further in different directions. We've used some of those same ideas at NuboCo, and we actually teach startups a lot of those same ideas. We really see the ability to engage the full mind of employees in different ways as the goal.
And speaking of startups, nice segue. Because these are business awards, so I need to ask you about this. Iowa Startup Accelerator's in its fourth year. I'm not sure. It's been
Sixth.
a few. Sixth year. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How's that work? And what successes have you seen? And how do you measure success? How do you measure success in those? If people come in, they pitch ideas, what happens?
Yeah. We've invested in about 43 startups, I believe, through the first venture fund that we raised in 2014, and that was for the Iowa Startup Accelerator for 5 of those 6 years. This year, we were using the new venture fund, ISA Ventures, or basically our second version that's much larger. Can make much larger investments. The real goal of that ultimately is to produce jobs and create wealth in our region, right? This is companies that survive and grow and hire people to do solve problems in the world. That's really, I think, what we're looking for along the way. There's a lot of other things that go into that, with mentoring and coaching founders through turbulent economic conditions and pandemics and other crazy things nobody could have possibly predicted. We really like the program and the way it's working. And, as we head into 2021, we have a new gentleman, Alex Taylor, who's going to lead all of the accelerator programming going forward. We're really excited about where that program goes next.
I know Alex. Yeah, cool.
He's a great guy. Yep.
Yeah. Good deal. Eric, want to thank you for all this. Thank you for all the great stuff you've done this year. And thanks for taking time this morning to meet with us. Your physical award we'll be getting to you once we get those lined up. And again, thanks and good luck to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.